So at this year's PC Game Show, John Gibson, the president of Tripwire Interactive, teased that they're thinking about what's next for the Killing Floor franchise. And he went on to say that Killing Floor 2 is like 5 years old, so I think it's pretty obvious that they're talking about Killing Floor 3. So in this video, I'm going to talk about all the different features in the past they've said they couldn't do because the engine in Killing Floor 2 was too old, or they didn't want to invest the money to improve it, etc. In addition, I'm going to talk about the different features the community has said that they would like to see in Killing Floor 3. Hey guys, this is Chris of B&B Gaming. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing amazing today. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video, and thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments. Definitely appreciate it. Now to start with, guys, I'm going to go ahead and play the interview that John Gibson gave on the PC Game Show.
I am on a first-name basis with our next guest, as he has been here at the PC Gaming Show 6 years running. From Tripwire Interactive, the president himself, it's John Gibson. Thanks so much for joining us, John.
Sean, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited to be back with you again to talk about so much cool stuff happening at Tripwire.
Yeah, you guys have been doing a lot of stuff, and I just want to kick off by asking, talk to me about Killing Floor 2.
So Killing Floor 2 just released the Perilous Plunder Summer Update. It's got 4 new weapons: Blunderbuss, Glock 18, Kaboom Stick, Tesla Launcher, new official map called Desolation, Space Pirate themed outfits. We're running a seasonal event with rewards until July 7th. And right now, it's free on Steam for a week, so you can go play it.
I also have to ask about the follow-up to a game that was announced at the PC Gaming Show, Chivalry 2. Talk to me about Chivalry 2.
So we're working with Torn Banner Studios. We're publishing, Torn Banner's developing, and Chivalry 2 is coming along great. It's so fun, and we're excited to announce some big news: cross-play between the PC and the consoles, so you can hack and slash your console friends in Chivalry 2.
And last, a game that has been so popular on Twitch. Talk to me about Maneater.
Yeah, so we were so excited to get Maneater out the door. You know, we've shown it to you guys originally in 2018. We had all that fun with Frankie in the shark suit, which I'm kind of missing. The game is doing great. People are loving it. So much fan love, so many fan videos. We're just really happy to have it out there, and people eating lots of humans.
It's such a funny game too. You know, you've talked a little bit about what has been announced from Tripwire Interactive. Mm-hmm. What's coming up next for Tripwire?
So I wish we could come forward and announce an all-new game, and that would be great, but I can give you a few hints. So Chivalry 2, is in process. It's going to be coming out in the not too distant future, hopefully. Maneater, we're taking the community feedback and we're looking at things that we can add to the game. So you haven't seen the last of Maneater. And Killing Floor 2, the game came out in 2015. So we're really thinking about what's next for the Killing Floor franchise. So stay tuned.
Well, if history is any indicator, John, I'm sure I'll see you at next year's PC Gaming Show with those very updates. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Sean.
So I think it's pretty obvious he's hinting about Killing Floor 3 here. So let's go ahead and look at the features they've revealed in the past that either they couldn't do because the Killing Floor 2 engine wasn't designed for it, or they could do it but they didn't want to invest the money to upgrade it, being where it was in its life cycle. Well, the first feature I've seen over and over again that people have requested that they've said they basically couldn't do is the ability to preview cosmetics. And I know for me on console this would be a big deal, because essentially what I have to do now is keep all the crates so I can preview them and see what's actually in them. Well, it would be awesome if we could actually put the skins on our character and see what they would actually look like, including the weapon skins. Another feature I see over and over again the community requesting is crossplay. Now, crossplay between the consoles, so I'm assuming Xbox Series X and PS5, and maybe even crossplay with PC. Now, I think crossplay in Killing Floor 3 is definitely going to happen, simply because right now Tripwire is helping Torn Banner finish up Chivalry 2, which they have already announced is going to have crossplay between Xbox One and PS4, but also between console and PC. So they're investing in the back end here, and I think that's laying the groundwork for Killing Floor 3 as well. Now, will there be crossplay between PC and console? I'm assuming that's going to be an option we can choose whether or not we want to have. Another feature people have requested over and over again, and I'd love to see in Killing Floor 3, is a weapon attachment system. So you can take your core weapon and you can customize it. So add laser sights, change out your scope, put on an ACOG scope, put on a red dot scope, or use iron sights and actually customize your sights. So change the reticle shape, change the color, etc. Along with this, I'd also like to see silencers. Well, anyways, in a game like Army of Two, I remember you could put on silencers and you could also use bigger weapons, but they would increase your aggro.
All right, listen up. This is combat. You can die in combat. If you don't want to die, you have to use aggro. This is you. This is your partner. These are enemies. You shoot at them, attract their attention, they're gonna shoot at you, not your partner. Let's say you both shoot at them. If your partner has a bigger gun, the enemy will shoot at him instead of you. This is called aggro. If your partner has all the aggro, you're basically invisible. You can sneak around enemies, do whatever you want. But if you have the aggro, it's like you're glowing red.
I think this would be an interesting feature to put in Killing Floor 3 and actually take inspiration from Call of Duty, and maybe you'd have, I don't know, 20 weapon points and you could choose what attachments you want to put on there. So maybe you want to run iron sights so you can have a muzzle brake and have an extended mag, etc. Another feature people have talked about over and over again is an improved gore system. Now, I personally never played the Killing Floor 2 early access, but from what I can see, and the gameplay will be on screen right now, you can see there's quite a bit more detail in the gore and actually in the flashlight, which is something I'll talk about here later. So I think overall we're going to probably see, I'm assuming, Doom Eternal type destruction and bits and meat flying everywhere. Now finally, another feature they've talked about that they couldn't do in Killing Floor 2 is the ability for the Zeds to crawl on the walls and the ceilings. I think they said there was something with the tracking or something they couldn't do it. Now, I know me personally, I think this would be amazing in Killing Floor 3 and really add that horror vibe to the game. And actually, when I think about this, let's put this on my wish list. I hope they improve the positional audio of the enemies. In this next section, I'm going to go over the different community features I've seen over and over again that people have been requesting. The first thing I've seen over and over again is a reviving system, or a down but not out system, similar to like Gears of War or Remnant from the Ashes, where instead of being totally dead, you're just down and your teammate can revive you in that round. Now, when I think about this, I think they would have to really prototype this and make sure this fits Killing Floor 3, because overall Killing Floor is a really and fast experience that I don't think they'd want to tinker with too much or slow it down. And I'm just curious whether or not this would fit Killing Floor. Now, personally, I would love it because I know I'm sick of dudes taking my guns when I die. The second feature I've seen over and over again is obviously new perks. The first idea I've seen over and over again is a martial artist perk. So maybe you have a melee weapon, but essentially you're punching them in the face and drop kicking them and scissor kicking them and everything else. Sign me up. That sounds awesome. Another perk I've seen over and over again is an engineer type perk where you're setting up either remote turrets or man turrets or maybe, I don't know, little minefields or something. I think that'd be really fun. Another perk I've seen is the scientist perk, where this perk would specialize in maybe using like the freeze thrower, using flamethrowers. And finally, the most requested perk, I know for me and everybody else, is the heavy perk. So a perk that gets to use a M60, maybe even the minigun, you know, something big and nasty. Another feature you guys have talked about is a campaign. Now, me personally, I think this is kind of a long shot. I would love to see a campaign. I think they've proven that they can do a decent one in Maneater. I would love to play it. I love Dead Space. I'd love to learn more about these characters. If they would do it, I hope they would go back to more of a serious tone and we wouldn't have Santa Claus and Krampus and all this weird stuff in here, which is cool in Killing Floor 2. Well, I'll talk about this a little bit later and what I'd like to see in this game. Another feature you guys have talked about is better balance and thought in versus mode. Now initially they had said they are going to revisit versus mode and update it because it's okay but it's not great, but I think they decided to wait until Killing Floor 3 to address it. Now one idea I saw you guys post is something like Be the Z mode, similar to Beast mode in Gears of War 3, where we would control the Zeds against like AI bots or something, and they would kind of set up and try and hold their ground or something, and we come in and smash them in the face as, you know, as flesh pounds or whatever. That sounds really awesome. I'd be up for that. And finally, another feature you guys have talked about is a testing map. So I know this is on PC where you can take in the new guns and see how much damage you do, etc. Just off the top of my head here, what about damage numbers like in Remnant, Borderlands, etc., where you could see if you're getting critical hits on the Zeds or doing damage, or maybe they're immune in certain parts of their body, and similar to like Doom Eternal. I don't know, what do you guys think? As a player, I think it'd be really useful, but would it break immersion? I don't know, you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Now for me as a player, I think I have, I don't know, 1,200 hours into this game. I kind of wrote down a list of things I've noticed or thought about as I've been playing that I'd like to see in the next game. The first thing I'd like to see is better lighting. I play on Xbox One X, and I know I play on PC as well, and neither one has great graphics in my opinion. They're kind of dated, and in my opinion, the best games you can really tell by how they do the darks, and I'm hoping that Killing Floor 3 does a much better job of graphics. Now speaking of graphics, and this might be my personal preference, but I'd like to see Killing Floor 3 stick to more of a gritty horror type vibe. So they stay away from the cel shaded cartoony graphics and stick more like Dead Space or BioShock or whatever, so they have that really gritty, gruesome tone to it instead of something like Maneater or Borderlands or whatever. And again, this might be my personal preference, but I really don't like cartoony looking games. Another feature I'd like to see, and I think this is pretty simple, and they've actually talked about this in the past, is the ability to choose your starting pistol or not have one. Now they actually addressed this in a live stream, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Well anyways, in Killing Floor 3, I would like to choose my starting pistol or choose not to have a pistol. Now in addition to this, I'd also like the ability to dual wield them, of course, and another option I'd like to have is the ability to hold my pistol in one hand and have my knife in my offhand, which would increase your melee speed and also maybe increase your melee damage. Now another feature I thought about, and you guys are going to have to let me know what you think about this in the comments below, whether I'm way off with this or not. But as I'm playing, I keep thinking, you know, as I get killed by a raging fleshbound or whatever, I think, you know, that's cool, but what if the big Zeds, so like the Skrakes or the fleshbounds or even the bosses, did executions on you? So instead of the Skrake just hitting you and you fly against the wall, he'd pick you up and run you through with a chainsaw. I think that would be really cool. Now, I don't know if that would slow down the gameplay of Killing Floor, but I think it would add more realism to him because, I don't know, a raging dude with a chainsaw, I don't think he'd just slap you in the face. I think he would do something nasty to you. Another feature I'd like to see is a running melee. I never played Fear or Fear 2 or Fear 3, but I do remember watching the gameplay of it, and there's something about that scissor kick that I would love to do. Now finally, I'd like to also see sliding and climbing and mantling in Killing Floor. Now I think that actually would change gameplay quite a bit, because if we can slide, if we can climb, and we can actually mantle up boxes or railings, then the Zed should be able to as well. Ooh, I think that would make it really interesting. Now that, along with the Zeds being able to climb on the walls and ceilings, ooh, I think you could have something really nasty there. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your top, say, I don't know, 3 features you want to see in Killing Floor 3? Let me know what you think. For me, I'm really excited about the prospects of Killing Floor 3. I think for sure we're going to get crossplay, so I'm excited about playing, you know, with PS5 players and even PC players, and my guess is it's going to be for sure on Steam, but maybe even on Epic Store, because they just announced that they're bringing Killing Floor 2 to Epic Store, and they're going to have crossplay between Steam and Epic. I'm assuming that's going to be the same way for Killing Floor 3, assuming there's no exclusivity, and let's be positive and assume there's not going to be. But I think the really big question is, what are we going to get from Killing Floor 3? Is it just going to be better graphics, better gore, few more guns, maybe a new boss, something along those lines? Or are we going to get something in lines with Doom 2016, the big leap they made from Doom 3 to Doom 2016? Or are we even going to get Doom Eternal, where maybe they take the Zeds and just take them in an entirely new direction, where they have more pronounced weaknesses and strengths, etc.? I don't know. I'm hopeful. I mean, honestly, I would still buy the Killing Floor 2.5 version, but if they can do something special with it, I think we could have a really amazing experience.